In Australia, we expect that the climate generally will get warmer and drier. So there will be a southern migration of species as it becomes too warm and dry in the northern part of the continent for species. Also, they generally tend to go up hills as well. And so what we see is that in places, for example, around Adelaide here, the Mount Lofty ranges, we only see about 12% of the native habitat remaining because the rest of the area has been cleared for agriculture and for habitation. So there's a fragmentation of the native habitat. So the species can't move across that fragmented landscape as easily as they could do when it was fully a native habitat that existed. So what we need to be able to do is design biodiversity corridors to be able to help those species migrate, to be able to work out where to put those maybe stepping stones of habitat or the biodiversity corridors to help the species migrate under climate change pressures is also another practical example of how understanding where the biodiversity is, what the gene flow is across different populations, what the genetic resources that you have in those natural populations are, and then how you can manage those to maintain those populations of species into the future. I think there's a whole area of basic science that needs to be explored. We need to understand how species change over time, but then I think we're not really doing our job unless we're able to then apply that knowledge to really do something about biodiversity. And when we're faced with such an extinction problem and threat problem for biodiversity here, I wouldn't sleep at night if we weren't doing something about solving that problem through the knowledge that we have. And so communication of science, simple communication of the messages that our research can help deliver and the improvements that our research can make, I think is now a really important part of being a scientist.